This channel supports St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children and is a part of their Play Live charity drive. For more information on how to join as well as how to donate, please head to the description and click the link at the top of it. Remember, any and all support is appreciated, so feel free to give and support in any way you can. Thank you for your participation.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Blak Magus, and there's been a lot of stuff going on in the news. I haven't had time to discuss with you guys, but there's some things that I just felt like, even though it's been a while since it happened, I have to discuss it. One of them is Cam Newton and his response to Colin Kaepernick's protest of the national anthem. So, if you don't know, Cam Newton basically did an interview where he was asked about it, and I'll put the link in the description because I can't quote him word for word simply because nothing about it was memorable. The tone of it was very memorable, though, because he basically said that he has no issue with him. He's not going to tell you whether or not what he did is right or wrong. He hit us with basically an all lives matter type of speech, saying that we're all one people and colors shouldn't matter. It was a really, really interesting interview because it was one of his biggest interviews following what he did earlier this summer, where he pretty much avoided the issue of discussing what it's like to be a black quarterback, pretty much giving the same type of tone, same type of answers. It shouldn't matter what color we are, we're all quarterbacks. He hits you with the all lives matter type of argument. And when I first saw that interview about the quarterbacks, my first reaction was, I guess, I understand where he's coming from. He's had such a bad rap going into the season, especially after the Super Bowl, where he got into his feelings. He was upset. He wasn't happy with what happened. And he just didn't want to be at the press conference. You could tell he just was not comfortable there in the questions they were asking him. And he just, he just stormed off. He didn't really say anything. He just looked angry. And of course, he heard the interview in the back and he was just like, man, whatever. I'm done. He let his emotions get the best of him. For me, understandable at that point. Biggest game of your career. The defining moment. You don't do that well, your team loses. He's probably sharing a lot of the guilt of that because of his performance. Some players do actually take things to heart and don't avoid their part, the part that they played in the results. And I'm sure he was just like, I fucked up. And he just, it just got to him. He stormed off. Now everybody was like, oh, Cam's such a horrible attitude. Me personally, I just think that it was a guy who just felt bad about his situation and his emotions got the best of him. It happens. It happens to all of us. He's a football player, but he's a human being first. He's entitled to be emotional, even though we know that, it's always said you have to be the most professional and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes you can't just be professional. Sometimes it just has to come out naturally, and that's what it did. And I wasn't mad at him for it. But, of course, people were mad at him. And, they gave the whole Cam still childish and all that. He spent his first 2 years in the league getting bashed for his personality. I feel like at this point he's in the mode where he's like, I don't want to be looked at that way. I don't want to have to deal with people giving me flack for who I am. So he's switching his script up and he's becoming someone he's not. He's ceasing to be Cam Newton and is trying to be whatever it is that he thinks people wants him to be. And that's a problem. Again, understandable, because he doesn't want to be bothered with the media, the press. But when you start acting outside of yourself to avoid conflict, to avoid having to deal with things, you only make matters worse. And I think that's what he's doing in this situation now, especially with the comments about Colin Kaepernick. What he's pretty much has done is set himself up to be a guy who has no opinion about anything, who gives the illusion that he doesn't really care. Because the thing is, when you go from one extreme to another, it just doesn't work. You know, he was a very vocal, outspoken person at first. Now he's just this all shucks, can't we all just get along type of dude. Seriously? No, it's not going to work that way. You came out and you tried to establish yourself as someone who did what they, who did what they basically felt was best. Was trying to be honest, open, however you want to say it. And now you're going to somebody who's just trying to placate people and try to generate this image of, I'm a good guy, I'm nice, you guys could like me, love me. It's not working, Cam. It's not working. And I feel like he's going to get bashed worse now than he did before, because he's taken away his identity. Say what you will about what people say about him. I mean, Cam was Cam, and you have to respect that. You may not like it, but you have to respect it. It's just like Bill Belichick is probably considered a jerk by a lot of people, but a lot of people respect the fucking hell out of Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick has never been anything but Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? So, yeah, people may not like you, but they respect you more for being honest about who you are. And I feel like now Cam is about to slide down that slope of, I'm not being honest with you guys. I'm just saying what I feel like you want to hear so you can leave me alone. And I feel like it's going to fucking backfire in his face. And it's sad because what Colin Kaepernick is doing, he's not being disrespectful. He's not being over the top with it. The only reason we hear Colin Kaepernick speak is because people come to him and he's very open with speaking. It's not like he's just running around screaming his message to the top. He did nothing to intentionally draw attention to this, I would say. And when I say intentional, I guess I'm speaking in the terms of he wasn't trying to be like, look at me, I'm saying something, I'm doing something, you guys need to pay attention to me. He did it because he felt it, he got the attention, and he addressed it, and he handled it, and he's still handling it to this day. I don't think it was an overt act of, I need to show you guys this. Whereas I feel like with Cam, he's kind of like, look at me, I'm the good guy, I'm the nice guy, I'm clean, I'm not the guy that you guys think I am. I think he's going out of his way to make sure that people see this version of him. And that makes it even worse because it's disingenuous on top of you not being yourself. So you're not being yourself in a disingenuous manner. That's weird because you're being disingenuous on top of being disingenuous. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. At least it doesn't work for me. I don't know about you guys, but for me, Cam should have stayed Cam. It's okay to have an opinion. You could do it tastefully. If you do it disrespectfully, that's on you. But have an opinion. I feel like he's just devoiding himself of that, and he's going to end up in a lot more trouble than he was already in, or that he wanted. And it's a shame because he shouldn't censor himself like that. It by no means. I mean, if you felt like how you were doing it was wrong, then switch up, find another way to approach it, but never completely censor yourself. That's wrong. And I advise you guys don't do that shit. maybe find a way to do it in a better way where you're not at the worst. But yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed in him, but I see where he's going. I wish him the best of luck. Hopefully it works for him. I don't think it will, but it is what it is. Anyway, you guys feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Magus, and I'm out. Deuces.